Hi, everyone. This is Pastor Josh here for your midweek message. And today we got some interesting texts from the lectionary. We have the um, 1 Samuel text, David and Goliath. And we have the Mark 4 text of how the disciples of Jesus are on this boat. And there's this raging storm that happens, and Jesus is asleep on the bottom of the boat. And they're going crazy. And ultimately, they wake Jesus up and said, "Hey, we're about to die. You've got to do something." And Jesus calms the waves and the winds, and peace be still. And he basically says, why didn't he have faith? And it got me thinking about help, both in David and Goliath's story, which is very famous. I don't think I have to tell you about it. And this troubled water text that in both of those, there's this theme of help. That David gets help when he kills Goliath, and he's a small boy and he shouldn't be able to do what he does, and he kills this huge giant. And also with the disciples and Jesus, it's this force of nature. It's the sky is opening up, and there's gale force winds, and who can stop that? It's this insurmountable, it's huge, unstoppable force. And what I love about the texts, both of them, is that there's help whenever you need it. That there's help in those spaces because people asked. People went out and got Jesus, so they proclaimed the name of God. Both David and the disciples, they got help. Yeah, the disciples got admonished by Jesus. So what? They could have had faith. They could have believed. And it was a test of faith. But they still got help. And I think that we as Christians, we forget that there's help in the most unlikely of places. That we've all had moments in our lives when we were $5 short, that we were running out of gas, that we didn't know where help was going to come from, and that there is always help. There is always help. Just recently, my wife and I are trying to buy a house, and there was some paperwork malfunction about getting our funds from one account to another account to buy this house. And we thought we were going to have to borrow money from all of our family. And we just didn't know what to do. And we called all of them up, and everyone stood in the gap for us. Some people who didn't have money, friends we didn't know, everyone who heard our problems, said, "I can loan you $1,000. I can give you 500." And luckily we didn't need it. But it reminded me of those moments when people that you didn't think of, that you wouldn't normally approach for help, they are willing. That help is there in the most unlikely of places. And I just want you to think about that as you do your daily job, as you work, as you chase after kids or garden in your front lawn or whatever you're doing. That whenever there's a stressful time, whenever there's trouble, there is always help. That God does not give us anything that we can't handle. No matter how stressful it feels, that God is there. And help will always be there for those who ask for it. I hope that helps this week. God bless. Hope to see you on Sunday for our combined service.